Lena had always thought life would be simpler. She imagined a world where she could go to work, come home, and spend time with her son Aiden without worrying about money, bills, or whether she would have enough to eat that week. But life had other plans. As a single mother working 2 jobs, Lena barely had time to breathe. She cleaned offices during the day and waited tables at night. The work was hard, and some days it felt endless. Every penny she earned went into keeping Aiden safe, fed, and happy, even if it meant she skipped meals herself or stayed up late planning the week ahead. Aiden was 7 years old, full of energy and curiosity. Despite their struggles, he had a smile that could light up a room and a heart that seemed too big for someone so small. Lena worried constantly about him. She wanted to give him more than just a roof over his head and food on the table. She wanted him to feel loved, supported, and hopeful. But sometimes the weight of her own exhaustion made her feel like she was failing him. One Thursday morning, as Lena hurried to finish cleaning a messy office before heading to her waitressing shift, her phone buzzed with a message. It was from her friend Nina, who always seemed to know how to make things a little easier. The message read, "Lena, I think I have a way to make your week brighter. I know a wonderful person, a CEO named Mr. Donovan. He's looking to meet someone special. Would you consider a blind date?" Lena stared at the message, unsure how to respond. A blind date? With a CEO? That sounded like a story from a movie, not her life. She felt a mix of curiosity and fear. She was used to people judging her for being a single mother struggling to make ends meet. What would someone like a CEO think if he knew her life was far from perfect? And then there was Aiden. She couldn't just leave him at home. But she feared that bringing him along would be seen as unprofessional, even silly. Still, the idea of a night out, a chance to meet someone new, sparked a small flame of excitement in her chest. She texted back, "I don't know if this will work. I'm a single mom and I have Aiden. I don't want to cause trouble." Nina responded quickly, her tone warm and reassuring. "Lena, you're wonderful just the way you are. Don't apologize for Aiden. If you want, you can bring him. Mr. Donovan is kind. I promise he'll understand." Lena read the message several times. She wanted to believe Nina, but her anxiety was strong. She worried that her son might interrupt the date, spill something on the table, or simply be too much for someone used to a polished, controlled world. Yet she also felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there were people out there who could see past the surface and appreciate her for who she was, and not just judge her by her circumstances. Over the next few days, Lena tried to prepare herself. She thought about what she would say, how she would explain her life, and how to manage Aiden without feeling embarrassed. She had to balance honesty with protecting her pride. The evening of the date, she woke up early, made sure Aiden had a clean outfit, and packed a small bag with some snacks, a toy, and a coloring book to keep him occupied if needed. Every little detail mattered. As the day went on, Lena's nerves grew. She reminded herself repeatedly that Mr. Donovan was supposedly kind, that he might understand. But the fear lingered. She had been in situations before where people looked down on her, treated her as if her life was a burden. She feared the same judgment tonight. Aiden, oblivious to his mother's inner turmoil, chatted happily about the school day. He told her about a new friend he had made and how he wanted to show her his drawing of a rocket ship. Lena smiled, feeling a pang of guilt. She wanted to be confident, to not let her worries show, but she couldn't help feeling nervous about tonight. She kissed his forehead and whispered, "We're going to meet someone nice tonight. Just be yourself, okay?" By the evening, Lena was a bundle of mixed emotions. Excitement, fear, hope, and doubt all tangled together. She looked at herself in the mirror, adjusting her simple but clean outfit, and took a deep breath. "We can do this," she told herself quietly. "It's just one evening." The restaurant where they were meeting was small, cozy, and welcoming. Warm lights hung from the ceiling, casting a soft glow over the wooden tables. Lena entered cautiously, holding Aiden's hand tightly. She scanned the room and spotted a man standing near the entrance, looking around. He was well-dressed but approachable, with a warm smile that reached his eyes. Mr. Donovan noticed them immediately and waved, motioning them over. Lena's heart pounded. She felt the familiar twinge of anxiety, but then she remembered Nina's words. Mr. Donovan was kind. He would understand. She walked towards him, whispering to Aiden, "Remember to smile and be polite." Aiden nodded, his small hand gripping hers tightly. They reached Mr. Donovan, who greeted them both with genuine warmth. "Hello, Lena. And you must be Aiden. It's so nice to meet you." "Don't worry, you're both welcome here," he said, smiling down at the boy. Aiden blinked in surprise, but his nervousness quickly melted away in the presence of such kindness. Lena felt a mixture of relief and embarrassment. She had expected some hesitation, maybe a polite complaint about bringing her son, but Mr. Donovan didn't react that way at all. Instead, he gestured to the table, inviting them to sit. Lena tried to steady her nerves as they made their way to the table, Aiden holding his small bag of toys and coloring books. As they settled in, Lena found herself apologizing again and again. "I hope it's not a problem that he's here. I didn't want to cause any trouble," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Donovan chuckled softly, shaking his head. "Lena, truly it's not a problem. I'm glad you brought him. It's nice to meet you, Aiden. You can sit right here beside me if you'd like." Aiden's eyes widened and a small smile crept across his face. He eagerly sat down, glancing up at Lena with a mixture of excitement and curiosity. Lena felt her shoulders relax slightly. Maybe tonight wouldn't be as stressful as she had feared. The first few minutes were quiet as they ordered food. Lena kept stealing glances at Mr. Donovan, trying to gauge his reactions. She worried that she might say the wrong thing, that her struggles would somehow show too much, that he might see her as less than he was expecting. But every time she looked at him, he offered a reassuring smile, a nod, or a gentle word to Aiden. It was like a small balm on her frayed nerves. As the conversation began, Mr. Donovan asked simple, friendly questions. "What do you like to do, Aiden? Any favorite games or hobbies?" he asked, leaning forward slightly with genuine interest. Aiden, encouraged by the attention, began to talk about his love for drawing rockets and spaceships, explaining how he wanted to be an astronaut one day. Lena listened quietly, amazed at how easily he was opening up. Mr. Donovan laughed softly, clearly impressed. "Wow, that's amazing. You must have a lot of imagination. I love that. Keep dreaming big, Aiden." The words were sincere, and Lena felt a warmth spread through her chest. For a moment, she forgot her worries and simply enjoyed watching her son talk freely, unafraid and accepted. As the meal progressed, Lena noticed a subtle shift. The tension she had carried all day began to fade. Mr. Donovan was patient, engaging, and kind. He included Aiden in the conversation naturally, never making Lena feel embarrassed or judged. It was a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time, and it filled her with cautious hope. By the time dessert arrived, Lena realized that this evening was turning into something far different from what she had imagined. It wasn't just a blind date. It was a chance to experience kindness, understanding, and a reminder that she wasn't alone in facing life's challenges. Mr. Donovan's genuine interest in both her and her son gave her a glimpse of a world where people could be patient, warm, and accepting, regardless of circumstances. As they shared the last bites of their meal, Lena felt a quiet sense of gratitude. She had been nervous, ashamed even, about bringing her son along, but tonight had shown her that authenticity and honesty could create connections she never thought possible. She watched Aiden laugh at something Mr. Donovan had said, feeling a lightness in her chest she hadn't felt in years. Maybe, just maybe, this blind date would be the start of something good, something that reminded her that she and her son were worthy of care, attention, and kindness. The next morning, Lena woke up with a strange mixture of excitement and anxiety. The night before had gone better than she could have imagined. Mr. Donovan had been warm, kind, and patient, and Aiden had felt completely comfortable around him. Yet despite the positive feelings, Lena found herself worrying about what came next. Was this just a one-time encounter, or was it the beginning of something more meaningful? She didn't want to let her hopes get ahead of reality. Breakfast was quiet, with Lena and Aiden sharing scrambled eggs and toast. Aiden chatted about the dessert he had chosen last night and how funny Mr. Donovan's stories were. Lena smiled, feeling proud of how comfortable her son was with someone new. It reminded her of how important it was to nurture his confidence and self-esteem, especially in a world that sometimes seemed harsh and unforgiving. After breakfast, Lena got ready for work, feeling a little lighter than usual. She was still tired from her double shift, but the memory of last night's evening gave her a subtle boost. For the first time in a long while, she felt seen, not just as a mother or a struggling worker, but as a person worthy of kindness and attention. That feeling, small as it was, felt almost foreign and yet comforting. The day passed in a blur of cleaning offices and taking orders at the restaurant. Lena's mind kept drifting back to the previous night. She found herself replaying moments where Mr. Donovan had smiled at Aiden, had engaged him in conversation, had made her feel respected and valued. In a life full of constant pressure and doubt, those moments felt like tiny rays of sunlight breaking through clouds. By the evening, she was both exhausted and eager. A message on her phone caught her attention. It was from Mr. Donovan. "I really enjoyed last night. You and Aiden are a wonderful team. I hope we can meet again soon." Lena felt a rush of relief and happiness. The worry that she had misjudged the situation melted away. It was clear that Mr. Donovan's warmth was genuine, not just polite conversation. Over the next few days, messages from Mr. Donovan became a source of light for Lena. He didn't just check in. He asked about Aiden, about Lena's work, about how she was managing everything. Each message was thoughtful, showing interest without being intrusive. It was unlike anything Lena had experienced before. Most people, she thought, either pitied her situation or ignored it entirely. Yet here was someone who listened, cared, and treated her with respect. Aiden noticed the change in Lena, too. She smiled more often, laughed more freely, and seemed lighter when she spoke about her day. One afternoon he asked, "Mom, is Mr. Donovan really nice? Can we see him again soon?" Lena chuckled softly and ruffled his hair. "Yes, sweetheart. He's very nice. And yes, I think we can see him again." As the days went by, Lena planned carefully for their next meeting. She wanted it to be comfortable for Aiden and not stressful for herself. She picked a small park for a casual lunch, somewhere Aiden could play safely while they talked. She packed sandwiches, juice, and a few of Aiden's favorite snacks, along with a ball and a coloring book. She wanted the day to feel easy and natural, without the pressure of a formal setting. When they arrived at the park, Mr. Donovan was already waiting, smiling as he waved them over. His approach was calm and welcoming. Lena noticed how naturally he included Aiden, asking about his favorite games and what he liked about school. Aiden's initial shyness melted quickly, and soon he was showing Mr. Donovan the small playground and explaining the rules of his favorite game. Lena watched them interact and felt a deep sense of relief. It wasn't just that her son was comfortable, it was that she felt a rare sense of peace. She didn't have to constantly monitor every word, every gesture, worrying about judgment or disapproval. Mr. Donovan's ease with her child made her realize that true kindness didn't require perfection. It required patience, empathy, and genuine interest. After a while, they sat on a bench to eat the sandwiches Lena had prepared. Mr. Donovan asked Lena about her work, her dreams, and even her worries. Lena found herself opening up in a way she hadn't with anyone in years. She spoke about the challenges of being a single mother, the long hours, the financial struggles, and the constant worry for Aiden's future. Mr. Donovan listened intently, never interrupting, never making her feel small. When she finished, he simply nodded and said, "I can see how hard you work, Lena. Your dedication is clear, and it's obvious Aiden is lucky to have you." The compliment, simple as it was, brought tears to her eyes. Lena had spent so long feeling that her efforts were invisible, that the sacrifices she made went unnoticed. Hearing that someone recognized and valued her struggle was overwhelming in the best way. Aiden, meanwhile, had found a quiet corner to play with his ball. Mr. Donovan joined him, showing him a few simple tricks and laughing when Aiden tried to copy them. Lena watched, feeling a warmth that was difficult to describe. She realized that Mr. Donovan wasn't just kind in words. He was kind in actions. He engaged with Aiden on his level, not as a distraction but as a person worthy of attention and respect. As the afternoon sun began to dip, they packed up and headed home. Lena noticed how relaxed she felt, how unburdened by self-consciousness she had been. The experience wasn't just about meeting someone new. It was about feeling seen and valued, about knowing that there were people in the world who could treat her and her son with genuine care. Later that evening, as Lena tucked Aiden into bed, he looked up at her with wide eyes. "Mom, can we see Mr. Donovan again soon? He's really fun, and he talks to me like I'm important." Lena smiled, brushing his hair from his forehead. "Yes, sweetheart. We can see him again. And it's okay to feel that way. You are important, and anyone who spends time with us should see that too." After Aiden drifted off to sleep, Lena sat by the window, looking out at the quiet street below. Her mind replayed the moments of the day, the laughter, the conversation, the small gestures of kindness. She realized that this connection, unexpected as it was, had reminded her that life could still surprise her. People could still be good, compassionate, and understanding. And most importantly, her son and she were worthy of that goodness. That night, Lena sent a message to Mr. Donovan, thanking him for the day. She expressed her appreciation for how he had treated both her and Aiden. His reply was thoughtful and kind. "It was my pleasure, Lena. Seeing you both happy made the day enjoyable. Let's do it again soon." For Lena, these simple words carried immense weight. They weren't just about planning the next meeting. They were about acknowledgement, respect, and kindness. They were about seeing her not just as a struggling mother, but as a whole person with a life, dreams, and a son she loved fiercely. As she lay in bed, Lena reflected on the small, meaningful moments that had changed her perspective. She realized that the evening of the blind date and the following day weren't just about meeting someone new. They were about rediscovering hope, trust, and the possibility of human connection. For the first time in a long while, Lena felt that maybe, just maybe, life could offer unexpected joy and genuine care, even when she least expected it. A few days after their casual park meeting, Lena found herself preparing for another encounter with Mr. Donovan. This time, he had suggested a visit to a small local museum that he thought Aiden might enjoy. Lena felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She wanted to make a good impression, but the kindness and ease Mr. Donovan had shown before reassured her that this meeting would be different from the anxious expectations she often carried. Lena packed a small bag for Aiden with snacks, water, and a little notebook and pencils. She wanted him to feel comfortable and to be able to explore without any worries. As she held his hand on the way to the museum, she noticed how eager he was, skipping lightly and chattering about the exhibits he hoped to see. Lena smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest that was rare these days. Despite the stress of her daily life, moments like this reminded her of the joy and innocence in Aiden's world. When they arrived, Mr. Donovan was already there, waiting with a friendly wave. He greeted both Lena and Aiden warmly, his tone casual and sincere. "I'm glad you could make it today," he said. "I think you'll enjoy some of the displays, especially the science and space section." Aiden's eyes lit up, and Lena felt a sense of relief wash over her. The childlike excitement in her son's voice was contagious, and she realized how important it was for him to be surrounded by encouragement and enthusiasm. Inside the museum, Mr. Donovan led them through various exhibits, pointing out interesting details and asking Aiden questions about what he was seeing. He wasn't just making polite conversation. He was genuinely engaged, listening to Aiden's observations and celebrating his curiosity. Lena felt a deep sense of gratitude, realizing how rare it was to meet someone who treated her child with such respect and genuine interest. As they wandered through the exhibits, Lena found herself opening up in ways she rarely did. She shared stories about Aiden's fascination with space, his dreams of becoming an astronaut, and the small joys she found in nurturing his passions. Mr. Donovan listened attentively, asking thoughtful questions and making comments that showed he understood the challenges Lena faced as a single mother. There was no judgment, only encouragement and recognition. Aiden, inspired by the conversation and the exhibits, began asking Mr. Donovan about his own experiences. "Did you ever like space when you were a kid?" he asked earnestly. Mr. Donovan smiled and nodded. "I did. I loved learning about stars and planets. It's amazing to see someone your age so curious and enthusiastic. Keep asking questions. That's how you learn and grow." Aiden beamed, proud that someone he admired valued his curiosity. The afternoon passed in a mix of exploration and conversation. They stopped for a small snack break, and Lena watched the two of them interact, realizing how naturally Mr. Donovan included her son. He wasn't just tolerating Aiden's presence. He was embracing it, making the experience enjoyable for everyone. Lena felt a sense of relief and comfort she hadn't experienced in a long time. She began to see that perhaps people could be genuinely kind and patient, even in a world that often felt cold and indifferent. As the visit continued, Lena noticed a change within herself. She felt less burdened by the constant worry of being judged, less anxious about meeting expectations she could never fully control. Mr. Donovan's presence offered a sense of stability and reassurance. His calm demeanor, patience, and genuine interest allowed Lena to relax, to be herself without fear of criticism. She realized that the value of this connection wasn't just in the external gestures, but in the emotional safety it provided. During a quiet moment in the museum, they paused in front of a display about the solar system. Aiden was captivated, pointing out the planets and asking questions. Lena watched as Mr. Donovan knelt beside him, explaining the size and distance of the planets in simple terms. The two of them laughed as Aiden tried to imagine living on a planet far away. Lena felt a swell of pride, seeing her son engage, learn, and feel valued. At one point, Lena noticed a painting exhibit near the museum's entrance. She suggested they take a quick look before leaving. Mr. Donovan agreed, and they walked through the gallery discussing colors, textures, and artistic choices. Lena felt a sense of freedom in expressing her thoughts and opinions, and she noticed that Mr. Donovan valued her perspective. It was a simple interaction, but it reinforced the sense of mutual respect and understanding that had been growing between them. As the afternoon sun began to dip, they decided to leave the museum. On the way out, Aiden ran ahead to a small fountain, giggling as he splashed the water with his hands. Mr. Donovan followed, laughing alongside him. Lena walked behind them, feeling a mixture of happiness and amazement. She had entered the day expecting stress and awkwardness, but she left with a renewed sense of hope and trust in human kindness. Back at home, Lena helped Aiden settle in for dinner, reflecting on the day. The laughter, the shared stories, and the gentle patience Mr. Donovan had shown created a lasting impression. Lena realized that this experience was more than just a social outing. It was a reminder that life could offer unexpected moments of joy, even amidst the challenges she faced. That evening, after Aiden went to bed, Lena sat quietly in the living room, thinking about the past few days. She realized how much her perspective had shifted. What had started as a blind date, something she approached with fear and anxiety, had turned into an opportunity to witness kindness, patience, and genuine connection. She felt grateful for the way Mr. Donovan had treated both her and her son, without judgment or expectation. Her phone buzzed with a message from Mr. Donovan. "I had a wonderful time today. It's always a pleasure to see you and Aiden. I hope we can continue exploring new places together." Lena smiled, feeling a warmth that spread from her chest to her toes. It wasn't just the words themselves. It was the thoughtfulness behind them, the recognition that she and her son were valued. Lena replied with gratitude, expressing her appreciation for the day and how much it had meant to both her and Aiden. Mr. Donovan's reply was equally kind and understanding, reinforcing the sense of mutual respect and genuine connection. Lena felt a small but powerful sense of hope. Life had been challenging, and she had faced countless obstacles. But moments like this reminded her that kindness and understanding still existed, sometimes when least expected. Over the next few days, Lena noticed changes in herself. She felt more confident, more at ease with her choices and her life. The weight of constant worry seemed a little lighter, replaced by a cautious optimism. She shared small details of her outings with Mr. Donovan with friends and colleagues, not as bragging, but as evidence that genuine human connection was possible. Aiden, too, seemed happier and more confident. He spoke about Mr. Donovan often, sharing stories and laughing about small moments they had enjoyed together. Lena realized that these interactions weren't just enriching for her. They were shaping Aiden's sense of trust and understanding of the world. He was learning that people could be kind, patient, and genuine, and that he was worthy of attention and care. The week ended with Lena preparing for another meeting with Mr. Donovan, though she didn't know what it would bring. She felt a mixture of anticipation and nervousness, but also a sense of peace. She had learned that kindness could come from unexpected places, that human connection could flourish even amidst life's struggles, and that her life, despite its challenges, was worthy of care and attention. As Lena tucked Aiden into bed that night, she whispered a quiet thank you to the universe for these small but meaningful moments. She felt gratitude for the patience, understanding, and kindness that had entered their lives. For the first time in a long while, Lena allowed herself to believe that life could hold unexpected joy, and that she and her son could experience it together. A few weeks had passed since Lena and Aiden had first met Mr. Donovan, and the bond between them had started to grow in subtle but meaningful ways. Lena had noticed a difference in how she approached life. She felt more at ease, more open to new experiences, and more confident in herself as a mother. The support and kindness Mr. Donovan had shown both her and Aiden had a profound effect, reminding her that there were people in the world who valued honesty, patience, and authenticity. One Saturday morning, Lena received a message from Mr. Donovan suggesting a picnic at a nearby botanical garden. The idea of spending time in nature, away from the stress of daily routines, sounded perfect. Lena packed a basket with sandwiches, fruit, juice, and a small blanket, along with some of Aiden's favorite toys. She wanted the day to feel light and enjoyable, free from any pressure or anxiety. When they arrived, Mr. Donovan was waiting by the entrance, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers he had picked from a nearby meadow. He smiled warmly at Lena and handed the flowers to her. "For you and Aiden," he said gently. Lena felt a rush of gratitude and surprise. It wasn't the gift itself, but the thoughtfulness and sincerity behind it that made her heart swell. Aiden, excited by the vibrant colors of the garden, ran ahead to explore. Mr. Donovan followed him, laughing softly as he watched the boy's curiosity and energy. Lena walked beside them, taking in the scenery, the fresh air, and the sense of calm that came from being surrounded by nature. She realized how rare it was to experience such moments of peace and connection, and she cherished it deeply. As they settled on the blanket for their picnic, conversation flowed naturally. Mr. Donovan asked Lena about her recent projects at work and how she was managing her time. Lena spoke honestly about her challenges, and he listened without judgment, offering encouragement and support. It was a conversation unlike any she had had in years, one where she felt heard, valued, and understood. Aiden, meanwhile, was busy exploring the garden, collecting leaves and examining flowers. Mr. Donovan joined him, asking questions about the different plants and teaching him small facts about nature. Lena watched them interact, feeling a warmth in her chest. It was clear that Mr. Donovan genuinely cared about her son and took the time to engage with him meaningfully. It wasn't just polite attention, it was authentic interest. After lunch, they walked along the garden paths, enjoying the sights and sounds of the flowers, birds, and small streams. Lena found herself opening up even more, sharing her hopes for the future, her dreams for Aiden, and her fears about the challenges of raising a child alone. Mr. Donovan responded with patience and understanding, offering thoughtful insights and gentle reassurance. He spoke about the importance of nurturing a child's curiosity and supporting their passions, reinforcing Lena's own beliefs about parenting. At one point, they came across a small pond with ducks swimming peacefully. Aiden ran to the edge, excitedly pointing at the ducks and asking questions about their behavior. Mr. Donovan knelt beside him, explaining the duck's habits and encouraging him to observe quietly and learn. Lena felt a sense of pride in her son and gratitude for the way Mr. Donovan treated him. It was rare to see such genuine engagement and respect, and it reminded her that kindness and empathy were qualities that could make a profound difference in people's lives. As the afternoon progressed, they found a quiet spot under a large tree and sat down to rest. Lena noticed how naturally the three of them interacted, how the conversation flowed without awkwardness or forced effort. Mr. Donovan asked about Aiden's school, his friends, and his hobbies, and Lena shared details about their daily routines, challenges, and small victories. It was a conversation filled with honesty, warmth, and mutual respect. During a quiet moment, Lena realized that her anxieties about being judged were fading. She no longer felt the need to constantly apologize or explain herself. Mr. Donovan's acceptance and understanding allowed her to be authentic, to share her life without fear of criticism. It was a liberating feeling, one that gave her a renewed sense of confidence and hope. Aiden, sensing the calm and positive energy, grew more comfortable and playful. He ran back and forth, showing Mr. Donovan the different flowers and insects he found, laughing when Mr. Donovan made silly comments about the colors and shapes. Lena laughed along, feeling a lightness she hadn't experienced in a long time. The day wasn't just about the garden or the picnic. It was about connection, understanding, and the simple joy of being present with someone who cared. As the sun began to set, they packed up and started walking back to the car. Lena felt a mixture of contentment and gratitude. The day had been more than she had expected. It had been a reminder of the beauty in small gestures, the importance of kindness, and the value of authentic human connection. She realized that Mr. Donovan's presence in their lives wasn't just about potential romance. It was about the way he made them feel seen, respected, and valued. Later that evening, after Aiden had gone to bed, Lena reflected on the day. She thought about the laughter, the conversations, and the gentle patience Mr. Donovan had shown. She realized that this experience had a lasting impact, reinforcing the belief that life could offer moments of joy, understanding, and hope, even amidst the challenges she faced. She felt grateful for the connection they had formed, not just as a potential romantic relationship, but as a meaningful human bond that nurtured both her and her son. Her phone buzzed with a message from Mr. Donovan. "Thank you for spending the day with me. It was wonderful to see both of you enjoying the garden. I look forward to more moments like these." Lena smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. It wasn't just the words themselves, but the thoughtfulness and sincerity behind them that made her heart swell. Lena replied, expressing her gratitude and appreciation for the day, for his patience and for the genuine kindness he had shown. The exchange left her feeling uplifted, reinforcing the sense of hope and connection that had been growing over the past weeks. She realized that these interactions were teaching her valuable lessons, not just about relationships, but about self-worth, patience, and the power of empathy. Over the next few days, Lena noticed subtle changes in how she approached her life. She felt more confident in her decisions, more patient with herself, and more open to new experiences. Aiden, too, seemed happier and more confident, carrying the joy and lessons from their outings into his daily life. Lena realized that these experiences were shaping both of them, teaching resilience, empathy, and the importance of genuine human connection. As the week came to a close, Lena prepared for another meeting with Mr. Donovan, feeling a mix of anticipation and calm. She knew that no matter what happened next, the experiences they had shared had already made a lasting impact. She felt grateful for the moments of laughter, the shared stories, and the simple kindness that had transformed her perspective. And for the first time in a long while, Lena allowed herself to truly believe that life could hold unexpected joy, and that she and Aiden were deserving of it. The next weekend, Lena and Aiden prepared for what would be another meeting with Mr. Donovan. A meeting that Lena had been looking forward to with a mix of excitement and gentle nerves. This time he had suggested a casual trip to the local zoo, knowing that Aiden loved animals and that it would be a fun, relaxed environment. Lena packed a small backpack with water, snacks, sunscreen, and a notepad for Aiden to jot down observations about the animals. She wanted the day to be enjoyable for her son, while also giving herself space to engage naturally with Mr. Donovan. As they approached the zoo entrance, Lena could see Mr. Donovan waving from a short distance. He was smiling, a sight that instantly eased Lena's nerves. He greeted them warmly, extending his hand to Aiden first. "Are you ready to see some animals today?" he asked. Aiden nodded enthusiastically, gripping Lena's hand tightly as they walked in together. Lena felt a subtle thrill, seeing her son so genuinely excited. The light in his eyes made all her worries seem distant. The trio wandered through the exhibits, stopping at each animal enclosure that caught Aiden's attention. Mr. Donovan engaged him in conversation about each animal's habits, diet, and habitat, answering Aiden's endless stream of questions patiently and with genuine enthusiasm. Lena watched, feeling a sense of relief and gratitude. Her son's curiosity was being nurtured, and she was witnessing how positively he responded to kind and attentive adults. During a quiet moment near the giraffe enclosure, Lena found herself talking more freely with Mr. Donovan. She shared stories about the challenges of balancing work and parenting, the long hours and the small victories she cherished. He listened carefully, nodding and asking thoughtful questions that made her feel seen and understood. Lena realized that this connection was not just about spending time together, but about mutual respect, empathy, and recognition of each other's lives. Aiden, meanwhile, had found a fascination with the monkeys, giggling as they swung from branch to branch. Mr. Donovan knelt beside him, mimicking their movements and making silly noises to make Aiden laugh. Lena couldn't help but smile, feeling a warmth that had been absent for far too long. She realized that the way Mr. Donovan included Aiden wasn't just about being polite. It was about valuing him, acknowledging his presence, and fostering a sense of joy and confidence. As they moved through the zoo, Lena noticed the subtle ways in which her own worries were easing. She no longer felt the need to apologize for Aiden's questions, energy, or interruptions. Mr. Donovan treated every interaction with patience and interest, creating an environment where Lena and her son could be fully themselves. It was a reminder that genuine kindness and understanding could profoundly impact one's sense of self-worth. After a while, they found a quiet bench near the pond, where they sat and had a small picnic Lena had prepared. The conversation flowed naturally, touching on Aiden's school, his hobbies, and Lena's dreams for the future. Mr. Donovan asked thoughtful questions, encouraging Lena to speak openly without fear of judgment. She realized how rare it was to encounter someone who could combine intelligence, kindness, and patience in such a way. Aiden, energized by the animals and the relaxed atmosphere, began sharing small stories about his friends and his experiences at school. Mr. Donovan listened attentively, laughing at the humorous parts and showing genuine curiosity in the more serious moments. Lena felt a deep sense of relief and happiness, knowing her son was being heard and appreciated. This was a different world from the one she usually navigated, where struggles often went unnoticed and efforts were overlooked. As the afternoon sun began to lower, Lena suggested a final stop at the petting zoo. Aiden ran ahead, eager to interact with the animals while Mr. Donovan followed, kneeling down to help the boy feed the goats and sheep. Lena watched them, her heart swelling with gratitude and a sense of peace. She realized that these simple, shared experiences were creating memories that would last far longer than the challenges they faced in daily life. On the way home, Aiden dozed lightly against Lena's shoulder, exhausted from the day's adventures. Lena held him close, feeling a mixture of pride, love, and hope. She reflected on the past weeks, from the initial blind date filled with anxiety to these outings filled with laughter, learning, and connection. The journey had been more than a series of meetings. It had been a lesson in trust, patience, and the transformative power of kindness. That evening, after Aiden had gone to bed, Lena sat quietly with her thoughts. She realized how much her perspective had changed. Life's difficulties remained, but the small moments of genuine human connection had shown her that hope, joy, and understanding were still possible. She felt grateful for Mr. Donovan's presence, not just as a potential romantic partner, but as someone who had brought warmth, patience, and compassion into their lives. Her phone buzzed with a message from Mr. Donovan. "Thank you for today. Seeing both of you enjoy the day and learn together was wonderful. I hope we can continue making these memories." Lena smiled, feeling the truth and sincerity in his words. It was not just about future plans. It was about the value of the present moment and the impact of shared experiences. Over the next few days, Lena noticed a subtle but profound change in her daily life. She felt more confident in her choices, more patient with herself, and more hopeful about the future. Aiden, inspired by the positive experiences and the genuine attention he received, carried a new sense of confidence and joy into his school days and interactions with friends. Lena realized that the presence of kindness and understanding had the power to transform their world, even in small ways. As weeks turned into months, Lena and Aiden continued to spend time with Mr. Donovan in different settings: cafes, parks, and occasional trips to cultural spots. Each meeting reinforced the bond they had developed and strengthened their sense of trust, respect, and genuine affection. Lena realized that the initial blind date, filled with worry and uncertainty, had blossomed into a connection that nurtured her heart, her son's growth, and their shared experiences. One evening, as Lena tucked Aiden into bed, he looked up at her with a contented smile. "Mom, I like spending time with Mr. Donovan. He's fun and nice, and he talks to me like I'm important." Lena kissed his forehead and whispered, "Yes, sweetheart. You are important, and anyone who cares about us will see that. I'm glad we have someone who understands that." After Aiden had fallen asleep, Lena reflected on the journey. She realized that life, with all its challenges, also held moments of profound beauty, kindness, and human connection. The experience had shown her that it was possible to find understanding and warmth even in unexpected places. The blind date had not just introduced her to a potential partner. It had reminded her of the value of patience, empathy, and the simple joy of shared moments. The story concluded with Lena feeling a renewed sense of hope. She knew that challenges would continue to arise, but she also knew that she and Aiden were capable of facing them with resilience, surrounded by genuine care and kindness. The connection with Mr. Donovan had become a source of light and reassurance, a reminder that life could surprise them with moments of joy, understanding, and love. And in that realization, Lena found peace, confidence, and a deep sense of gratitude for the journey they had shared and the future that lay ahead.